You say this debate is about religious liberty, but the president's But the president's opponents seem to think that it's also an opportunity for them to attack him about his own personal faith. May I ask you, sir, as a learned professor of theology yourself, what is your reaction to the endless attempts to imply that the President of the United States is somehow sub-Christian, not a Christian?
Well, okay, realistically, you look at any president in U.S. history, this guy is not the first person who's been president who's had that charge leveled against him. So he's no different from anyone else as far as that's concerned. But, you know, people do have their concerns, and it's not wrong for them to express those ideas.
I'm interested to know which other president you can remember who's been smeared in the way President Obama has, where people have questioned his place of birth, questioned his identity, suggested that he's a Muslim and a practicing one as such. Can you tell me another president in history who has suffered that kind of barrage of attacks?
Well, this president has a unique set of circumstances, so he's had those charges laid against him.
Sir,
so,
but you just said, no, sorry, sir, you just said that this is nothing new, and there are other presidents in the past
what I said was
who
that
have been subjected to this.
Have had their Christianity questioned. That was the question you asked me, and that's what I told you.
But I went on to explain what that means, and what that means as far as this president's concerned is everything from where he was born to whether he's a Muslim. That relates to whether he's a Christian. Can you tell me which other president in history, I'm offering you the opportunity, sir, which other president in history has been subjected to this kind of barrage?
Martin?
Yes, sir.
You asked me if he was a Christian. You asked me which president has had charges against whether or not he's a Christian. Well, let me tell you something. Whether or not he was born in America has nothing to do with whether or not he's a Christian. Whether or not where he's come from has nothing to do with whether or not he's a Christian.
Do you believe he's a Christian? Sir, do you believe he's a Christian?
What I know is that he says that he's a Christian, so I have to take him at his word.
But you know, sir, that kind of response is damning someone with faint praise. This president has repeatedly said in everything that he's written, you've read his books, I've read his books, in every public meeting where he's been asked, he has made a very clear statement that he is a committed Christian. He appears to be conversant with the Scriptures, Old Testament and New Testament. Do you believe that he is a Christian? I'm not asking you if you take him at his word. Do you believe that he's a Christian?
I don't know if he's a Christian or not.
You really don't know?
I don't. I never met the man. I've never talked with him. And a lot of people say that they're Christians, but just because they say that they're a Christian, that doesn't mean that they are. You know, just because you walk into a garage, that doesn't make you a car either.
No, it doesn't.
And so being acquainted with the Scripture, being acquainted with the Scripture does not make you a Christian.
Indeed, because we know that by their fruits you will know them. That is also a text from Scripture. So given the fruits of this man's life, if you won't take what he says, and if you look at his life, does his life not speak to the fact that he's a committed Christian? Is he an adulterer in the way that Newt Gingrich is? Is he a hypocrite about giving to charity in the way that Rick Santorum is? Or is this president a Christian?
I don't know. I've never met the man. I've never talked with him at length.
Remarkable.
And in fact, one of the things that happens when I'm in church and I have to advise people about becoming a Christian is I ask them a number of questions to find out if they really are. And if they really do believe that Jesus Christ is the only way. And I have not had that opportunity with him, so I can't say. All I know is that he says that he's a Christian, and that's sufficient.
That's sufficient. So now you're saying that you do accept that he's a Christian. Am I right to understand you? Is that what you mean?
What I'm saying is I accept the fact that he says that he's a Christian.
Right.
And until I actually talk with him, I won't know for sure.
Do you understand, sir, why I'm asking you these questions? Because this president appears to be fair game on issues that nobody else appears to be fair game on. We've seen disrespect for this president in ways that we've never seen before. Just recently, the governor of Arizona pointing a finger in his face, other people smearing him, Rick Santorum suggesting that what we have in the White House is a man akin to Hitler, where he describes the social circumstances of 1939 and compares them with now. That's why I'm asking you. That's why this is important, sir. That's why you, as an academic, a learned academic and a representative of the Baptist Church and that denomination, have a certain power and influence. If you were to say with confidence, yes, this man is a Christian, it would be influential. And that's why I'm concerned to ask you these questions. But as you've repeatedly said, you simply take him at his word.
That's right.
Dr. Craig Mitchell, thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.